This is your no bullshit guide to a happier life. Quick, but not necessarily easy tips to help you to squeeze every last drop of enjoyment out of your business and your life. My name is Helen Calvert. I'm a coach, a business owner and a parent, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I do swear occasionally, as the title suggests, so pop in your headphones if I'm not safe for little ears. Ready to go? Let's do this. Hello and welcome to this episode where we are talking about fear and anxiety. Woo, that's a big topic. Yeah, we're not going to get it all done in one go. But I do have some thoughts to share with you today. As somebody who has medically diagnosed anxiety, whatever that might mean, but it means that I take medication for anxiety and have done for some time. And it's something that I manage. It's kind of my baseline. So it's not about what's happening in my life. It's just I have anxiety. So with that said, even those of us who don't have some kind of mental health challenge, feeling anxious and feeling overwhelmed is a completely normal part of running a business, and it's a normal part of life. It happens, doesn't it? And we have all these fantastic ideas, these goals, these dreams, things we want to get to, and then there's that little voice, isn't there? What if it all goes wrong? We have the fear. We have the fear and we have the anxiety. And I really like the phrase, feel the fear and do it anyway. But I like it because of how I interpret it. I know a lot of people don't like it because they think that it means, yeah, you're scared, but just do it anyway, forget it. Don't manage that fear. Don't look after yourself. Just do it anyway, man up or whatever awful phrase we come up with. That's not how I interpret that phrase at all. So I used to think that there would be a time when I no longer had that little voice, that little, what if it all goes wrong? What if everybody hates you? What if you get laughed at? All those awful little brain weasels. I thought that at some point I wouldn't have that voice anymore. I'd get to a stage where I just felt confident all the time. I was on top of everything. I took it all in my stride and I could just get on with it. And I know now that that is not how it's going to be. And not because I have anxiety, but because I'm a human. My unconscious mind is always going to be scared of change. And it's always going to hate the vulnerability that comes with trying something new or putting myself out there. That's just how all of our unconscious minds work. They like safety and they like familiarity. They don't like change and they don't like trying stuff. Brene Brown, all hail Brene Brown. Brene Brown talks at length about the vulnerability of stepping into the arena, of saying, here I am and this is what I can do. And we can manage that feeling, but it's not going to go away. So what I've promised myself is this. I'm never going to let fear hold me back. I'm not going to look at my fears and think that they mean that I can't do the thing I want to do. I might choose not to do things for many other reasons, but I'm not going to make that choice through fear. So my solution, and this is my interpretation of feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm feeling the fear, but I'm going to do it anyway. And my solution has been to separate out the anxiety from the goals. So my anxiety is this big bag that I'm pulling along behind me. Some days it's really heavy. Other days it's not too bad. But I'm going to walk forwards anyway. I've got my big bag, got my big old bag of anxiety, and here we go. And I'm pulling it along. So how do we kind of separate it out? That's the first thing. Obviously, we also need to manage it and look after ourselves with it. But how do we separate it out? I think for me, the important thing is to just see it for what it is. We need to recognise what isn't serving us. So for instance, if you think to yourself, I don't know very much about this topic. This is something, a topic at work or a new idea, I don't know very much about that. That's something I'd like to know about, as one of my goals might be to learn something about this topic. I'm going to look into some training. That's a sensible way to improve your skills. But if your thought process is, I don't know as much about this topic as other people do, I should shut my mouth and never talk about it ever again. That's unhelpful anxiety. That's, I don't know anything. I'm just going to step back. And we need to deal with that separately, but not let it stop us from learning and growing and achieving. So how on earth do we do that? Right. So this is how. You put it aside. So you book the training course. You sign up for the networking event. You say yes to the meeting. You agree to the phone call. Whatever it is, if it's going to get you further towards your goals, you get it done. Okay? And I know that's so easy to say, but you get it done. You put the anxiety, you put your big bag of anxiety to one side, just put it down. Yep, you can wait till later. And you get it done, whatever it is. So that's the feel the fear and do it anyway part. We get it done because we know it's moving us further towards our goals. We've chosen those goals for a reason. It's genuinely where we want to get to. We're going to get it done. And then, now this is the crucial bit that I think some people miss out when they talk about just feel the fear and do it anyway. Then when it's done, and you're on the path to where you want to be, so you've booked the thing, you've said yes to whatever it is, then it's time to look after your unconscious mind. Then it's time to get yourself feeling safe because your unconscious mind is now panicking. So now is the time for the hot drinks and the warm blanket and the scented candle. Feed your senses. Give your mind and body every comfort they desire. Treat yourself with that old excessive kindness and just don't be angry with yourself for having fear that is completely normal and understandable. It's human. So do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better and don't begrudge yourself that kindness. Go for a walk, have a luxurious bath, sing along to the loud music, whatever it takes to make yourself feel calm. So it's not about saying, oh my goodness, I've got this fear and anxiety and it's horrendous, and therefore I'm not going to do the thing. But neither is it about saying, come on, get a grip, just do it, what's wrong with you? And then sort of trying to squash down the awful rising anxiety. It's about putting the anxiety to one side, saying, I'm going to deal with you in a minute, doing what needs to be done, and then picking up the bag of anxiety and being like, right, okay, what do you need? What do you need now to feel better, my little anxious self? And caring for yourself and doing what it is that you need. Because anxiety, this is my own definition that I've come up with when talking to my children, actually. But anxiety is when you don't quite feel safe in your life and you're constantly trying to find ways to feel safer. And if that is you, if rather than sometimes feeling anxious, if you have anxiety, you just don't ever quite feel safe in your life and you're constantly trying to find ways to feel safer. If that's you, it can be a real challenge. And I am not minimizing that at all. It's a real challenge. You never quite feel safe and then you need to push yourself to do something new or push out of your comfort zone or push to reach a goal. And it's like, just trying to manage this feeling of not being safe is exhausting. But as with everything, this is why I bang on and on about excessive kindness, because you can make yourself feel safe. Your unconscious mind doesn't actually give a damn whether you're having a scary meeting or writing a book or doing whatever on earth it is that's freaking you out, the smallest thing or the biggest thing. It doesn't actually care. All it wants is to feel safe. So if you literally wrap it up, like wrap yourself up in a duvet and have a little cry, let out some of that stress and talk to yourself in a kind way and have a warm drink and have a nap and do all those things, it will feel safe. It doesn't actually care that you're still having the meeting. It's not bothered. You've made it feel safe. And then everything else becomes, something that you can deal with. But I think it's interesting. We all have different experiences of not feeling safe. And for me, this is something I'm still working on because I still don't quite catch it quickly enough to stop this from happening. So if you're one of the people that I text when I'm stressing out, please listen to this bit because you can say it back to me next time I send you a ridiculous, overwhelmed text message. But when I don't feel safe, because I've put myself out there, or I've said yes to the thing, or, I've agreed to the next goal, achieving whatever it might be, I'm out there, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling vulnerable. What happens then is that my unconscious mind tells me everything that I need to do. So I start spiraling my thoughts. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I need to have a better handle on my finances. I need to be eating more healthily. I need a better work-life balance, but I need to be marketing my business more effectively. I could be a better friend, but I could also be providing a better service to my clients. I need to make more money. I need to improve my website. All these things, okay? Now, a lot of those things are probably true. There's probably improvements I can make. There's things I can learn. There's things I can change. There's new tools I can use. But the point is that is an ongoing thing throughout my life, and I can choose when and how to improve any of those things. But what happens is when I don't feel safe, my brain decides that all of those things are now completely essential right this moment. They are all equally urgent and essential for my safety. And of course, then I'm completely overwhelmed because I can't do anything about most of them in the moment. I certainly can't deal with them all at once. I certainly can't deal with them when I'm feeling terrified and overwhelmed. So then, I go into a spiral, and I'm sure that you will recognise the same sorts of patterns, those spirals when suddenly nothing feels safe and everything feels like it's a huge problem, and people are telling you it isn't, but you're like, it really feels like it is. And the answer is to make yourself feel safe. Give your unconscious mind the safety that it needs without trying to fix anything. It's literally what you do in that moment. And it will be different for everyone. Sometimes, and it's different depending on the stressor as well. Sometimes we need exercise. Sometimes we need a nap. Sometimes we need a hug. Sometimes we need to go out with a friend and have a glass of wine, whatever it might be. But we need to find that safety. And then when we've got that safety, when we've brought it back, we're feeling safe again, then we can do the thing that we've already agreed to. We can do the training course we've booked ourselves on. We can attend the networking event. We can do the meeting. We can look full in the face if there genuinely are things we need to be doing better or improving or changing. But we need that emotional safety first. Absolutely vital. Now, for some of us, this is going to involve more than just a cuddle up with a cuppa. This could involve some counselling or some therapy or some coaching, taking a step to really dig into where some of these fears are coming from and finding ways to tackle them long term. If you've never kind of looked into this and never really looked at where your fears and anxieties are coming from, there could be a bigger piece of work to do here. And as always, please do feel free to get in touch if that is you, because I am here to help in any way that I can. But no matter how you deal with the fears, this is today's mindset block alert. Just make sure that you still do the things anyway that are going to get you to where you need to be. So our mindset block is that the fear and the doing are two separate things. They're not the same thing. You can't deal with them as one big thing. Deal with them separately. Do the thing first. Get it done. And then the fear is a separate beast that needs to be tamed. It is real and it needs to be handled, but it is not allowed to have a say in your choices. It is not allowed to stop you from reaching your goals. Don't put the fear in the driving seat. It can be a really annoying passenger. Sometimes it's going to be in charge of the radio, irritating you to death, but never let it drive. So what's the next step you need to take to get to where you want to be? Are you feeling the fear? That is normal. Do it anyway. Do it today, and then manage the fear once you're already on the path. The fear's not going to go anywhere. You're going to always have that bag of anxiety. Sometimes it's a big one, sometimes it's a small one, but it can be managed. But just feel the fear and do it anyway. And then, after the doing, be excessively kind to yourself. And that is how we squeeze every last drop of enjoyment out of life. Speak to you next time. Thank you so much for listening. It's great to have you along for the ride. If you enjoyed the episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave me a review. And don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are up. If you identified a mindset block during the episode and would like to work with me one-to-one, you can find out how in the show notes. See you next time.